I wanted to do a quick video on how to make ringtones based off of music that you like. So first, you'll need a computer that's capable of running Audacity. Typical computers that run Windows, Mac OS X, or Linux can run Audacity. It's available for all three of those platforms. Currently not available for mobile platforms as far as I'm aware. But you'll need Audacity, and you also need an MP3 copy of the song that you want to bring in as a ringtone. I find that it's easier to buy this music. You can buy it off of Amazon and download it as MP3, or you can also buy it through Bandcamp or any other digital music store that sells DRM-free music. So once you get the MP3 copy of it, well, first you gotta download and install Audacity. There's a website that guides you through it. I'll link to that. And Audacity currently includes all the stuff that you need for this process, including the lame encoder, which was something that in the past that you did have to download as an add-on to Audacity, but now you don't. So the newest version of Audacity, I'd recommend it. So first you click File, then Import, then Audio. I just downloaded a song that I'm allowed to play off of YouTube, but you can do this with any song that's an MP3 or AAC, which is if you download music through iTunes, that's what file type iTunes uses. It's an M4A AAC encoded file. So then you just open it. So you'll want to listen to it, and you'll want to figure out the starting point of the clip that you want to use, and I would recommend limiting that clip to 30 seconds because your phone's only going to ring for 30 seconds anyway, so there's no point in having a longer one, and your phone could potentially not support it if it's longer than 30 seconds. Most phones support 30 seconds or shorter as far or when it comes to ringtones. So I recommend either doing 30 seconds or like 15 seconds. So then it'll play through twice during a full ring. And that's how most of the ringtones are. They're 15-second ringtones that fade in, fade out so that they sound like they can loop well. So the starting point, I'll just start here because that's where it looks like the wavelength kicks up. And down at the bottom, I recommend changing that to start and end length of selection. So you figure out the starting point. If you want to play through to the end of a part of a song, you can just pause it there and figure out where it is, and you just subtract 30 seconds from that. So I'll just use this down here, and you click the leftmost digit of the seconds, and you can punch in 30, or you can use the hover over the selection in the timeline, and you can click and drag using the finger to bring it out to 30 seconds or somewhere close to 30 seconds. So then you click edit. You can either do cut or copy, but I usually just do cut. Then you do select all, then you do edit, delete, and then you do edit, paste. And that'll bring in that part of the song that you want as a ringtone. So we'll zoom in up here a couple times, and I usually select like a second or two at the beginning, effect, fade in, and a second or two at the end, effect, fade out. Then you can play around with this, figure out what you like as far as a ringtone. Then after that, I do a select all, effect, normalize, and what this effect does is it brings the song down to a volume, and if you do it to all of the ringtones that you create, they should be around roughly the same volume. I do -8 decibels, the default's -6, that was a little bit too quiet for me, or a little bit too loud for me, so I did -8. and that will normalize it to that, and then you can do a play test. If it sounds good to you, now you're ready to export it. So you can click File, Export, export as MP3, then you give the file a name. I'd recommend shortening it as much as possible because there's a limited number of characters in the ringtone name when you go to select it in settings. And I usually do constant 192 KB per second, and you click save. Then you can click clear on this. You don't need any metadata on it. Then you're all set. It'll be in the folder that you export it to. Then if you're on an Android phone, you'd plug that in. You go in your notifications and you'd switch your USB mode to data or file transfer because it usually selects charging by default. You need it as file transfer. Then it'll show up in here under this PC. You'll see your phone. You can click into that and then internal storage. Then there'll be a ringtones folder. Then you can copy this file that comes out of this process into that ringtones folder, and then after that, when you go into settings to select the ringtone that you want to use, this file will show up on that list as you named it when you exported it. On iPhones, you gotta go through iTunes. Then if you go into the phone screen, there should be a ringtones tab somewhere, and then you can drag and drop this file into that, and that should bring it into your iPhone. So that's a general rundown how you get it onto your phone, but it can be different from phone to phone, but that's generally how you do it between Androids and iPhones. So this concludes a basic video. If things get more complicated for people, I may do like another video on how to overcome those, but this is generally like how you clip 30 seconds of a song that you like using Audacity and export as a ringtone.